Well, this feels weird. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Danny Talks Football right here on YouTube. I'm Danny and we are back with another video. Now, yesterday England beat Finland 3-1 and I did a live match reaction in Spoons after that game with one of my mates. So we're going to cut to that now and then we're going to come back to me where I can look a little bit more in depth at it and give you my thoughts on the England manager situation and also explain what's been going on. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Danny Talks Football right here on YouTube. I'm Daniel and we are back with another video. England 3, Finland 1. The big question is, Lee Carsley, should he stay in a job?
I'll be honest with you, Daniel, I don't think he should. Football, it's not entertaining enough. You know, the team he's picking, I don't think it's the right team. He's playing players out of position. He's trying to get the big players in, like Foden, Saka, Bellingham, all out. But you just cannot do it, and he's sacrificing the defensive stability of the team.
Absolutely, I'm not a fan. I think he's not English. I think this is my big thing. He's not an English manager, he's Irish. And if we're going for a foreign manager in essence, I feel like we can do so much better. There's been links with Thomas Tuchel recently, and obviously we're going to discuss that later in the video. But I think if you're going for a foreign manager, you can do so much better than somebody like Lee Carsley, who, after watching these performances, look, yes, we won games of football. We were winning games of football on the Gareth Southgate. That was never the issue. The big issue there was that the football wasn't good enough, and we were beating teams we should be beating. We should have won the last 4 games of football. In fact, we didn't beat Greece, was poor. We should be doing better there. I'm not impressed personally. I think it is time to move on. In terms of the game today, what do you make of it? Who were you impressed with?
I think that late Trent Alexander-Arnold free kick was beautiful. The way he hit it, with power, with pace. Yeah. Goalkeeper had no chance. I'd say Dean Henderson, for his first kind of start for England, did decent enough. You know, conceding goals never good, but he didn't really have much to do. Back four, I'd say was good. You know, you always have to look at how many you concede. Obviously, conceding one to Finland whenever you should be the dominant team. But I think defensively, it's never really been England's problem, especially on the Southgate. It's always been going forward. And, you know, yes, we scored 3, but 2 of them goals were in the last, 10, 15 minutes?
Will be the free kick as well,
Yeah. So, I don't know, you know, the question is, who's going to come in to get the best out of England's attackers?
And that moves us quite nicely onto the links from Bild the other day of Thomas Tuchel in talks with the FA. Now, we obviously don't know how strong these talks are, and Bild have a so-so reputation in terms of being a reliable source. If we are to say that it's true for a moment, we'll get on to sort of, I think it would happen later, but if we are to say it's true, what would you feel if tomorrow morning you woke up and a statement from the FA came out to say Thomas Tuchel's the new England manager?
Thomas Tuchel, as a manager, is a fantastic manager. He's done great. Chelsea, you know, he took over Frank Lampard's team, won with UCL in his first year, and it kind of fell off when the new ownership came in. But at the same time, I think the big talking point will always be, can we have a German manager managing England? You know, such a big rival of England. Is it okay for him to come in, being German? You know, will the fans connect with him as much? You know, whenever we last won the World Cup, it was an English manager. You know, you look at even Spain appointed a new Spanish manager for the Euros, went on to win it. Germany won the World Cup with a German manager, France with French. I don't think it would feel right. I think England's tried it before with the likes of Van Gaal, Ederson and Fabian Capello, and it just hasn't worked. And to me, for the fans to connect with a manager and for a team, it needs to be an English manager.
I'm torn. Look, I think if we are to go forward, I think Tuchel's an excellent option. I think he'll do well in charge of England and do well with this group of players. I would prefer to go English, but upon that, and this is where it's always been my sticking point, to go English, who are you getting in? Because Eddie Howe's not going to leave Newcastle. I think everybody knows that Eddie Howe's quite stable there, and that's his project. So if Eddie Howe doesn't leave Newcastle, Graham Potter, are you convinced? Sean Dyche? No. Is that the third option though? After Eddie Howe and Graham Potter, I don't see anybody else. And at that point, I'm looking at it going, Hal won't come, and I'm not particularly convinced on Potter. I'll take him, but I'm not convinced. So who is it to be?
If you're going English, it's either between Frank Lampard or Steven Gerrard. It has to be. Yeah, with only two English managers, I think, right now, who could potentially go on to manage England. At the same time, you could bring either one of them in and wait and see what happens with Eddie Howe. Because realistically, with ownership at Newcastle, will want results quite quickly. And you know, if they're not qualifying for the Champions League, if they're not winning trophies, I think, give it a couple of years, I think the ownership might get fed up and look to move Eddie Howe on and bring in a new manager. So it's kind of like Lee Carsley. Lee Carsley came in and he's only here until I find a replacement.
So there we are. The video cut off, as I'm sure you could tell. My phone ran out of storage, which was absolutely excellent. But that was great, and thank you to Ethan for doing that for me. My thoughts, I think it's time that Carsley needs to go. Look, I think he was always going to be the manager to carry us over into the new era. And I think you've seen from what he said after the game that, you know, we need a top manager who's won trophies, and he hasn't done that. To me, that more or less says, well, that does almost definitely say that he's not going to be staying on as the England manager, which now means we are going to be getting in somebody new, and it's a question of who that's going to be. We also spoke about Thomas Tuchel in the video, and he's been somebody who has been named and has been rumoured to potentially take over. I would be okay with that. You know, in the video we discussed the lack of quality English managers, and then we're speaking about Eddie Howe before it sort of cut away. Eddie Howe is a quality manager, but he's not going to come to England from that kind of Newcastle project. You know, speaking of the video, look, it might be a year or two potentially. That's fine. In a year or two, we're going to be in a completely different position, and we'll probably have a manager by that point. At least, you know, we can't wait a year or two to bring in Eddie Howe. So, and would he even take international management at this stage in his career? Then you are looking at somebody like Graham Potter, who again I would potentially take, but I'm on board with Tuchel. I am on board with Tuchel. I think, you know, he knows English football well enough. Obviously, he had that tenure with Chelsea. He could bring the best out of some of those players. Could he reintegrate people like Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, Fikayo Tomori into that England setup potentially? I think Thomas Tuchel would be a really, really good appointment. But what are your opinions? Let me know in the comments below. I am going to be back here with consistent videos now. As you can tell, the background's a little bit different. I am now at university studying sports journalism, so hopefully I can be back with more consistent videos. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. See ya!